Hi, welcome to Tiffany's Crafty Corner. Today we are going to learn how to make this card. Just a pretty simple card. It's got a few little things, but it's fun. It's a fun card. And it's a birthday card, as you can see. Do a little celebrate and kind of put my name on the back. I love that little stamp I got from Stampin' Up. So to begin with, I'm going to show you what we're going to need in order to make this card. We are going to need to make the background. We're going to use the Crafter's Companion Dots and Spots. And this is a really cool little tool. I'll show you how we'll make this. It makes all the background right here. It's just this one stamp. And that's going to be a really cool thing to do. I loved it. I was having so much fun playing with it. To make the banner, we're going to use the Crafter's Companion, the Gemini die cut. And I'm going to use the largest one. That's the one I chose. So we'll be using that. In addition, to make the snow cone and the die cutting of the snow cones, or the ice cream cones. The die cutting of the ice cream cones, we're going to be using the Sweet Treats, Crafter's Companion Sweet Treats die and stamp set, which is a pretty cool stamp set. I'll show you what that when we get to that as well. In addition to that, the colors that we'll use today, that I used to make that card, is the Spectrum Noir, and I actually used the metallics. So the only reason, pretty much the reason why I did that is because I wanted to try out the Crafter's Companion, and I didn't have any other colors but the metallics, but it turned out really well, so I was kind of happy. So I'm using the Amethyst Metallic, I am using the Blue Organza, and I'm using the Jade Green, and the Rose Satin, all in the Spectrum Noir metallics. And these are the quick drying inks as well. Let me see, did I leave anything out? Oh, and also you will need some little gems. So I've got those. Those were Stampin' Up gems. This is Stampin' Up Pop-It-Ups. So I have those as well. And then to make the sprinkles for our card, I got, these are Queen Bee, and just little beads that I just put some glue. So we'll use some fast drying glue as well to adhere those two. So I've got everything in place. I think that is all. Oh, one more thing. We also will be using the label maker. We'll be using this label maker. I do not remember what it's called. I think they still have this in Stampin' Up, but you can use any label that you like. I mean, this doesn't have to be exactly like mine, obviously, just to kind of give you an idea of what you can do with some of these products. And obviously, I'm always going to be using my little Misty. I love my Misty. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make the card base. So the card base is just a normal A2 card, which is just taking, oh, sorry, you heard all that mess over there. And you heard my dog. Just getting my cutter out, unlocking my Stampin' Up. I like this one. It's pretty nice. So I'm just going to make my card base. My card base is, since it's 11 by 8.5, we do half of that to get the correct card base. So we'll go at 5.5. And we'll just make a cut there. We'll use this piece to do our background piece. And then I also have my little scorer on here. So this was 8.5. So this will be 4.25. And so there we go. Card base is made. Simple, easy. Anybody can do it. So pretty easy. So I'll just lock that back up. Put it back over here where it belongs. And we've got our card base made. Now we're going to, oh, sorry, I'll need this out again. We're going to go ahead and cut our base to make the background for the card. So our card is 5.5 by 4.25. So if it's 5.5 by 4.25, I'm going to go for 5.25. no, I'm going to go 5 and almost just an eighth, just an eighth right below that. So, right below, 2 marks below the, you can't see that. Let me go ahead and pull that over there. So I've got 5, this is 5.5, and then I'm going to go another, a 4th. Yeah, that's a 4th, I believe. Yeah, could be wrong. It's probably an 8th. I don't know if those are the 8ths. This is 16ths. Yeah. Anyway, so just right below the 5.5 mark. And so I'm just going to kind of cut that out. We'll use that for something else. And then it was 4 1/4. So we'll go right below the 4 1/4 mark. All right, so just kind of measure that out. That peaks right around. So we'll have just a little bit left. So we'll look, just so you can see again, we got the card base, and then we've got the base that we're gonna make the background for. So we'll put this away for now. I'm sure I'm gonna need something else for it. All right, so let's get to it to make the base or the background. All right, so I actually have put that little Sizzix sticky grid on my Misty, and this is the first time I'm using this, so bear with me. I'm not sure how it's going to do. It wasn't really sticking to my the extra cushion pad that it comes with. This little pad to make it, you know, stamp better. So bear with me. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. I'm going to make sure I got this is my first video. All right, so I just kind of want to show you how we're going to do this. So if you look here, this is the first time it's going to stamp, and it's kind of this. So we'll do that, then we'll go to the second stamp, third stamp, and fourth stamp. And you look, you're turning it 90 degrees each time to get the 4 colors. So you need 4 colors. So the easiest way to do this is you take our little pad here, and I'm going to actually put this behind here as well, because I don't want it, it's going to stamp off. Let me see. Let me just use the scissors really quick. Because this is pretty much a 5.5 by 5.5 kind of thing, and I don't want it to get on this sticky stuff. So, all right, so we're going to put it in the corner here. All right, let's take that other bit and let's move that here. It's another reason why I'm kind of liking this sticky thing. It's going to keep everything in place, which is really neat. Okay, so we're just going to line it up in here. It's a straight square. So if you can see, make sure, right? We got this is the 1 dot. That's going to be your marker. That's what you're always going to move. So this will move here, then it'll move here, then it'll move here, then it'll move here. All right. So the first color that we're going to use, see, like I said, I'm not used to doing it without the pad. I got to figure that out. So let me get that stuck in there a little bit better. Okay. Maybe I ought to move this up a little. Maybe next time I'll think about that next time, but we'll try to move on from here. So the first color I'm going to use, and honestly, I did 31 of these cards. I did 31 of these cards because I am going to the Scrapbook Expo in Irving, Texas. And I love that place. Me and my girlfriends go every year now. We have a blast. And this year, I decided I wanted to try to do the card swap. And the card swap is, you know, it's just like you would think any other card swap. You make so many cards, and in this case, it's 31 cards. So you make 31 cards, and then you, so 30 cards you're going to give away, and then 1 card's going to be kind of judged or appreciated is what they said. They didn't really say judged. They just said appreciated. So who's the most appreciated? So, I wanted to try it this year because I just thought maybe it'd be fun. It'd be nice to get 31 cards, you know, that I didn't. I've been in card swaps before and they were a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. So that's kind of why I kind of started this. And then I've been thinking, oh man, yeah, see, I need my little stamp pad. See, that doesn't work really well without this stamp, without this. So let me just put this on pause. I'm going to fix this and then I will come right back. Okay, so I'm back. I put my little stamp pad behind here. We're just going to see how this works. So let me just kind of ink this up some more. And again, this is using the rose satin first. Again, any colors that you like. And one of the things that I did, and it's actually not for this colors because these colors I liked better. But one of the things I did, because if you're trying to kind of figure out what colors kind of match and what kind of look good, I took like a little like piece of, you know, scrap paper, and I just kind of inked it and to see if I kind of liked the different colors that I would be using. So that's going to be really important when we get to the layering of getting to the layer stamping for the ice cream cone. So here we go. It's going to be our first one right here. All right, pretty cool. If I wanted to ink it up more, but I kind of like to have that little, you know, not completely filled in kind of look. I kind of like that. So the next thing I'm doing is I'm going to kind of get a baby wipe, or actually, I used on these, what I found is this is like my eyeglass cleaner, you know, pad or towel. And to clean these clear ones, I kind of liked using, you know, using my Stampin' Mist and just kind of putting that. But these microfiber don't leave lint or anything else. So when we're trying to do something like this using the Misty and just trying to have something clean, look at that. Look how nice and clean that got it. And it was easy, no lint, no nothing. So when I use the baby wipes leave lint. When I try to, unless I'm gonna have out my stamp cleaner pad, which that one's kind of harder to do anyways because these are square, I find that using a microfiber and using whatever cleaning solution that you like to clean your stamp is pretty good. Now, you can see I didn't really clean, like get really into those grids because I don't really care. Sometimes it won't leave it won't leave the color on there, or it kind of blends in with these colors. These Spectrum Raw colors kind of blend pretty well. So, okay, so if you see what I'm doing here, before we had this dot on this side. So now I just turned it 90 degrees and I'm just lining it back up in there where I want it. And you're going to start to see, as we start getting these colors in, you're going to start to see how this fills in and how cool this ends up looking. And then you're going to be wanting to make your own backgrounds for everything. See, this is what I was kind of not wanting to happen. I didn't want that to lift up. So I'm probably going to put some kind of tape or something down here to keep that down. But I do like that this sticky grid by, sorry about that. My daughter walked in from school and of course I'm asking her to hush and she's not going to. So excuse the background noise. Anyways, so to get back with it. So the next color I'm using is the Jade Green, metallic gray jean. Again, any colors that you like, any kind of combination of colors that you want to use, feel free. This is just what I chose to do. And so you may or may not like these colors, and you may or may not. But I will tell you what, these colors I was using okay, so I've really always been using Stampin' Up! Colors. And I love Stampin' Up! Colors. But I have found that I'm like these real vibrant colors, and Spectrum Noir has really vibrant colors. And I like how they turn out. And I really like these metallics because they're metallic, but they're bright and they're cool looking. So our next color is going down. And I guess kind of get my finger in there. And you start to kind of see how it's come together. All right, and that got a little more color. So then the next color we're going to use, we're going to switch this. We're going to clean it off real quick. Now when Sarah Davies does this demonstration, she sometimes doesn't even clean this. She kind of lets the colors kind of meld in together sometimes. And that looks really cool as well. I just didn't want it. I wanted the colors to completely be different and not have any mutation of any other color. So that's kind of the reason why I did that. You know what, actually, what we're going to do really quick, I think this will help keep this down, is I am going to, I'm going to just use my StampinUP for my StampinUP tape. I'm going to put a few little, to kind of keep this mat down. Let's see if that helps us. So, really quick. I know lots of people who don't use that mat, and I don't know how they do it, but I can't do it. And I think it's because they don't use these things that go up in the corner, and they can press down into this, into the thing. But you know, also the other thing that I've noticed with theirs is that there's sometimes gets squirt. So I prefer to have a pad down to get an even pressure. So that's kind of cool. So the next color I'm going to use, that worked. Awesome. Great. So next color we're using is the blue organza Spectrum Noir metallics. And I think I'm going to start, you know, as I'm not kind of a person who wants to waste, but I do buy a bunch of things. So I'm also kind of a gadget girl. I love the gadgets. But I think as I go forward, I will probably start to use more of the Spectrum Noir colors, just because I like everything so vibrant. And I'm liking them. But I do have a lot of colors that are Stampin' Up! That I really love too. And I bought re-inkers for those. So I think I will always kind of go between back and forth. Oh man, the Stampin' Up! Tape worked really well on this mat. I'm loving it. All right, so there's our blue. So see, it's starting to come together. And if you notice, sorry, I didn't really point that out again. I took Stampin' Up! I love Misty, because then I could just do this if I want to. But see, we had the dot here, then we had the dot here for the second color. Now we have the third color, the dot there. We turned them 90 degrees. And look at that background. You could leave it just like this if you wanted. You could probably do different colors of different shades of colors, which would be kind of neat depending on what you're doing. And they have tons of these. I'll show you the other ones. Once we get kind of done with this, I will show you the other background ones that I got. All right, so we were step 1, step 2, step 3, now another 90 degrees, step 4, and we're back in our corner again. And there we go. Okay. Now, I will say this, I have made this background on bigger sheets of paper. And I thought what I would do when I was making these 31 cards is I would do a 12 by 12. And I have a 12 by 12 Misty. And I thought, well, you know what? That'll do that. I'll do it that way. And I'll just kind of mark it and move along for the whole page. And that worked okay, but I got bored. And I don't know if it's more that I got bored. And then I started thinking, well, what's the most efficient way to do this? Should I just cut all the cards and then just do it that way? And I felt like, I don't think either one is faster than the other. But what I ended up doing was going ahead and cutting the cards down to what I needed for each one of the backgrounds, and then just did the single background. I think I felt like I got more done faster, but I don't really think it would have been any faster. It's just a matter of what you like to do. So what I did when I was doing it that way, just so you know, is I made marks on, because I had a 12 by 12 Misty as well, which I could pull out, but I made marks at the corner with like like those crayon pencils you can use for sewing. and I made like a cross mark. So I'd know, okay, that's where this was. And then I'd make a cross mark here on top of the Misty, because it wipes off real easy, because those are those grease pencils, right? And then I just moved it. So that way I knew where I was. And so I just moved it. I just did each color, you know, and then came back, did the second one and moved it. But again, I just felt more comfortable doing it smaller. Okay, so our last color, so we've got the 3 colors down. So now we got our last color. Our last color is the amethyst. Okay, so, and that's kind of a purple color. So we're going to do the same thing we've done. We've moved our stamp 90 degrees. And we're inking up, inking up, inking up, inking up. However much you want. Sometimes you like a little more, sometimes you like a little less, depending on how you want this to look. So this will be our final color. Okay. Voila! Isn't that cool? So these were our little helpers. So I didn't get it on this because I didn't want to get that on that. I want that to stay sticky. I just got those grids today. Those grids actually are by Sizzix, and they are meant for your die cutting machine to hold your dies, or your paper, actually to hold your paper in place. And it's just sticky enough. See, it's curling up on me. It's mostly because I'm on this pad. So I got to figure out maybe to do something else, but I think it's going to work. It's going to work okay. All right, so see here. So now we've got our background. Now, isn't that cool? So we got our background, we've got our card. So we got the first 2 things done. So let me clean this off really quick. And we'll put that away. I will show you the other backgrounds really quick. Actually, if I have them handy, I will. If not, then I will come back and show you another thing, because I got all this stuff off HSN. So let's put this back on here. Our little, where is our little? Okay, well, wherever that is. So that goes down there. And here's the other piece to that. And I'm going to speed this up. So I've got some things that are already cut out, but I did want to show you how to make that background. I also want to show you how to make the snow cone, or the ice cream cone. So let me just put this back in here, and let me see if I can find, if I have those really handy. I think I got them right here. So you can see the other backgrounds that they had. They have more than just what I have, but they're kind of cool. So just thought I'd give you a quick shot. So the other one that I have is this Cocktail Dreams. Kind of cute. So it's just got all these little different cocktails. So if you're maybe having a party or something, you could, you know, do a background on that if you like. And then I know I have one more in here because I came in a set of 3. Oh yeah, and then the birthday one. So that one's kind of this one's really cool. So if you kind of look at it, see how it's got different colors? So when you use the 4 colors, as you start to do all this, it will fill itself in. And that's cool. So one of these, I'll be doing another one with that at another time. But that one's really cool. All right. So I am going to put this away just for a second, because the next thing that we got to do is the banner. Now, I'm not going to, you know, go into this unless there's somebody out there that does not know how to use a die cutting machine. I'm just going to kind of show you what I've done. So I have my little mini. This particular card was great to have these little minis, because every one of the Crafter's Companion that fit into this 3-inch slot here, you could use this. So if you're just doing a quick project, it's really good to have, because you could just crank it out real easy. It's smaller than the Cuddlebugs. It's bigger than the that diamond press that's out there. And it does, you know, it does the small projects. So anyway, so here is the larger of the pennants right here to make the pennants. And that's also a Crafter's Companion product, but you can use any product, obviously. But I used the larger one because I just wanted to have a bigger one there. And I'm just going to kind of show you a base that I have here. So it just really, we have the, let me see if I have a piece of, we'll just go ahead and crank it out. I've got a piece, maybe I don't think it's long enough. Oh, yes, actually. I got one piece over here that's pretty long. It's a little different color because I ran out of the color I was using. So this is the perfect size for it. I went ahead and cut out what I needed because, again, remember I was doing this for 31 cards. So basically what I had done is I did each piece on its own. So I made all the card bases, then I made all the backgrounds, then I made all the banners, then I made all the ice cream cones. Then I put it all together, and then I made all of the what do we call these things again? The labels. So let me get my little thing here. Now, we all know these can be a pain as far as trying to keep them in place, even when they're in a folder, and trying to crank that out. So the easiest way to do that is to get a little bit of washi tape. Oh, I kind of tore, so I'll fix that later. Get some washi tape. Hopefully I'm still within, pull this back a little bit. Okay, so get a little washi tape here. Put the die cut, the piece that's going to cut down, and then just tape it, you know, on a couple of the sides if you like. I mean, I don't think you need, I typically only do one, but I had two sitting there. Then I'm just going to put it in my little folder. This is kind of like the Diamond Press, but this one again is like the Gemini Mini that came out last year, I'm pretty sure. So then we're just going to crank it through. So super, super easy. Pull it through. There we go. There's our banner. So now we've got the banner, we got the back, and we've got the other. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put this stuff away. I will put that away later. And we're going to make the ice cream cone. So I have several already kind of made because I wanted to have extra for friends whenever their birthdays came up. All right, so let's go back to the piece of paper that, and actually I'm just going to use this since I don't want to waste anything. So I'm just going to use this piece of paper here. And we are going to stick it down. And then I'm going to get to my stamp set and die cut set. And when you get these, it comes with two things. You get all the stamps. So you get a really cool stamp here. Let me try and make sure I'm seeing. You're a cool friend. So kind of neat with the ice cream. Celebrate. Then you've got let's eat cake. So you can do a cupcake. You can do an ice cream cone. And I think you can do like cupcake ice cream cone. That's basically. And if you look here, it shows you how to do each one. So how you can layer it, what it should look like. So, and the other cool thing is when we're doing this, to make the cone, it shows you number 1 right here. And then here's number 2. And then here's 1 for the top, for the ice cream. 1, 2, and then 3. So you have the 3 steps. Then the 4th, if you want to add the sprinkles. I did something different. So, but you can do sprinkles, and you could do you maybe do an ombre and effect to get different color sprinkles, or, you know, that kind of thing. And you'll have the same with the ice cream cup and the cones. That actually looks like a Reese's cupcake to me, or Reese's cup to me. That would be kind of fun to do something. So anyways, the first thing we're going to do, now the key with this layering, if you've never layered before, is you're always going to start with your first stamp, and you're going to start with your lightest color. Okay, so for these, I did not tell you what colors we used for these. And I had them out. So Actually, I do have them out here. Okay, so I actually use Spectrum Noir as well. Remember, I told you I don't have many, so I was really kind of messing around trying to see what I wanted to do with those. So, just let me get those together for you. They're right over here. So, for the base, the lightest color, I use Sandstorm. Okay, these are not the metallics. Okay, and then for the darker color that went on top, I used the Seal Brown. So those are the two colors that I'm using for the cone. So I'm going to first, let's put that out of the way. Yeah, I'm not really, okay. Yeah, it's doing good for the paper, but I got to figure out how I'm going to do this. I'll figure it out, but, so I'm going to put the first color down, the Sandstorm. And this one I kind of maybe did it a couple of times because I wanted it to definitely have a darker color to it. Or I wanted to have a filled in color. Uh-oh. Oh, shoot. I did it wrong. Oops. I did Sandstorm first. I mean, I didn't do Sandstorm first. I did the wrong color first. Let me get another piece of scrap paper. I have some right here. Okay. So let's put that back down. Let's try this again. Okay. And let's get the right color. Let's get Sandstorm. Maybe double check what you do. And I'm going to wipe this off. Just wipe that off for it. Okay. Okay, let's put the right color down. Okay. I guess with my first video, I might be doing a lot of editing. All right, that looks a lot better. See, now that's not as dark as I'd like it to be. Now, the one thing I did notice is as they dry with these Spectrum Noir colors, for some reason, they seem to get just a tiny bit darker. And I like it, or it kind of fills it in. But since it's with the Misty, I can just do this over and over again until I get what I like. So there we go. So I got that. So I'll put my Sandstorm away. Now let's go back to the color and the stamp that I'm going to need to use to fill in the second part of the cone. And let's pull that out right here. Okay. Cool thing is these are things so I can just line this up, or I could have, made marks and done all that, but pretty good at lining this up. Sorry if my head's in the way. Here we go. Okay. I think we're going to do all right. If we don't do all right, it all looks fine anyways. It just all kind of comes out. And now we're using this Seal Brown. Inking that up. Just ink, ink, ink. Put that one aside. Press it down. There we go. We're off a little bit, but it doesn't matter much. So, I think I'm going to leave it like that. I think I'm fine with that. So, I could make it perfect. If you're a perfectionist, then, you may want to redo that and stuff. But I think mistakes also end up looking good. And then we're cutting this out too. So, some of that might get a little cut out and you won't even notice it. So, let's put that back. Now, I probably should have made room for probably should have done this lower and then made room for that. So let's just see if we can fit that on here. No, we can't. That's okay. So we're going to put this aside. We'll do all the die cutting later. The die cutting, I've already got these cut out, so I'm not going to bore you guys with that. I showed you how to die cut one thing. I would use the washi tape, but I just want to show you how to make the actual layering, so you could see how that's done. I know it's kind of one thing that I had always, whenever I'm watching videos, I want to know how it's done, and I am somebody who has to see somebody do it. Okay, so that's plenty of room. I just took a piece of scrap paper All right, so the same with this. We're going to do the same type of layering. So with this one, and I know I told you I didn't have a ton of colors, and I don't. But I do have some. So I pulled out some colors that I could use. And I'm pretty sure they were not these. So give me a second to remember what I did. Actually, I know what I did. So these were Stampin' Up! Colors that I used. So I used the Melon Mambo. I used the Pink Passion. And I used the Blushing Bride. And these were pretty bright. I think I tried to go and use some other colors in the little stamping pods, and that's what wasn't that. So again, we're gonna go with the lightest color, then the second lightest, and then the third. So from with light, medium, and dark. Just like you would if you're a watercolor, or if you're a, you know, somebody who likes to do blending and things like that. You're always gonna you're gonna start with your lightest colors, then you're gonna start adding in your darker colors and then your medium colors, and then you go back and you blend. But with this, because it's a layering stamp, we don't need to do all that. It's already in the stamps of how it will kind of come out and kind of blend. And I mean, obviously you still could go in and do a lot more blending if you wanted to, but you don't really need to. So anyway, so we're starting here. So we're going to start with the Blushing Bride. I do not know if they make this color anymore, but Stampin' Up! Always has similar colors. So if you like this color, I'm sure they have something. If they don't have Blushing Bride, then, you know, you could find another color you like. But I would suggest, like I had said before, is just kind of go through and kind of swatch it out on a little piece of paper to see what you think looks good. Now, these are older colors. Sometimes they have better ink on them than they don't. They're not as gushy as some of my other colors. So I sometimes have to go through these a couple of times and see, like that one, it didn't feel completely in. Now, do I really need that because it's gonna go through? No. So I'm probably gonna just one more time, and I'm gonna go with whatever it is, or I could have just left it like this and went with it. And I'm okay with that. So you see that doesn't look like much right now, kind of boring, but the magic is about to start happening. And I probably should have lined this up. I should have lined up and been really perfect, but I'm not. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. But if you want it to be perfect and you want to have something every single time the right way, and really that is the right way to do these, is you want to, you know, line it up according to your grids, using the corners to help you guide it. So typically what I would do is I'd put it down here in the corner like that, and then I would use that corner, or I would use one of these corners here to line it up, and then maybe make a mark or something on the grid here. And then that way, every time I went to go place the new one, I know I'd have it completely right. But this being my first video, I decided I was just going to try to eyeball this. That's not typically how I work. So this is number 2. This is the number 2 stamp right here. Now this is going to have your medium color. Okay. I'm going to have to see, this little sticky thing is great for the paper, but it's just not good for this. So I'm using the Pink Passion. I probably could have found a better color, but I was just kind of throwing things together, and then I ended up liking it. So we're going to kind of ink this up. And I think I'm only going to go 1 pass through this. I'm not going to do 2 passes. But I could. I got my Misty. I could if I wanted to. Voila. Isn't that nice? I'm off a little bit. Look at that. That's going to bug me. Oh, well. I'm just showing you how to do it. Next time, make sure you use your grids and make sure you use the numbers, and it will come out perfect. And I think I will do that from now on. I am just flying by the seat of my pants, and I typically don't do that. But I did want to try to start doing my first video, knowing that it probably wasn't going to be the best. but I was going to try. So be patient, use criticism constructively for me, please. I could get hurt feelings easily. Okay, so now I'm just kind of lining it up, and now again, following what I should have done is I should have lined it up, made a little mark here or something, or put it in the corner and just did it from the corner. That's why these little marks, why these little tags are here, to help you line things up. Sarah thought of everything when her and her team were making these layering stamps. I mean, like, so me not paying attention and not doing what I'm told, I'm learning a good lesson. But maybe I lined this one up better, and it will override my mistake on the second one. Let's see. But stamping's not perfect. Look at that. Came out pretty good, but I'm missing this middle right here. So this is Mellow Mambo, by the way, sorry. So having my little Misty out, I can get some more ink on here. Know that I missed that middle part. Go back. My paper hasn't moved. And there we go. Do a little bit more down there. Okay, like it. All right. So here we go. We got this. And now we've got our cool ice cream topping, and we're gonna die cut those out. And again, the die cuts on this particular one are right here. So I've kind of left my washi tape on so that it would be easier for me to place them the next time. So I can go ahead and do that. Again, I'm not going to waste your time with this. So you just line it up right there. You put it down and then run it through your die cutting machine, whichever one it happens to be. Same thing with the ice cream. Just line it up and run it through. So comes out. I got two little examples that I'd already done. So here you go. I've got the ice cream cone and the ice cream topping. So easy to put that together. I just ran a little bit of tape down at the bottom, and then just took this and just kind of eyeballed where I wanted it to go. I mean, probably could have put it in the middle a little bit better. All right, so now we can just kind of put this thing together. So I'm going to put the sprinkles on this one last, but when I did this, because I was doing the card class, I'm doing the card swap, I put all of these together first. Then I went and I put the sprinkles on. Actually, I think I still will do that. And then I'll just show you the card. So what I did is I just took some I took some Stampin' Up! Fine tip glue, and you can use any glue. This one is just it's a fine tip, so it just a little bit comes out at a time, which is why I like it. And I just kind of dotted, dot, just randomly, just kind of like what ice cream sprinkles would do. Okay, oops, that's a big one. So we may have some globs there, but that's okay. Ice cream cones do that. They have globs sometimes. They kind of stick all together, right? So move that out of the way. Like this little thing. Again, this came from Queen Bee. And I love this little thing because this is perfect for making shaker cards and things. But even if you were just doing a little simple something, you don't have to have a big, glitter thing out that can catch everything. And then you got it. I mean, it's just a big. So this is easy for travel, easy for just little projects. So I'm just taking these and I'm just kind of sprinkling them all over like I would do glitter or I would do embossing. And just trying to kind of make sure that it gets into the glue And then I'm just gonna kind of, sorry, that's my dog if you hear something. So that one's too much, I think too many globs. So I'm just gonna kind of think. So then I just put that aside. If you can see that, yeah. I put that aside, and there you go. I've got my ice cream cone with sprinkles. So that will set aside to dry. And then I've got all my little thing. Open that up, put it back in my little container, and make sure I get all that in there because those were good. Again, these came from Queen Bee. Queen Bee has a ton of different types of these beads and sprinkles and all kinds of stuff, and they're fairly reasonable. So if you're going to be at the expo this year, I will be at the Make and Take, and my name is Tiffany. See Redhead running around? I'll be at the Make and Take. I'll also be taking several classes, and I'll be doing the doing the all-day, craft. They call them the play dates this year. I don't know where they came up with that, but they decided to change it up a little. So anyways, so I'll be there to do that. So now let's just put this thing together. So this is pretty simple. We're just going to put some tape on the back. I'm pretty liberal with my tape. I know people are stingy and like to just use just enough. I know also people like to use the artist glue and to keep them on. I like the artist glue too. And I think I'm kind of getting away from tapes more. I'm using more red tape or tear tape, that kind of thing for certain things. But I am kind of going to like using the Tombow glues and arts glue, those types of things to keep these in place. Because sometimes, that we've noticed over, like if you're like me, I like to keep different cards as examples. So if I want to go back to it at any time, I could go back to it, and I could redo it, figure out how to make it again, that kind of thing. But I find that using these tapes, sometimes it comes up like after a year or so. Now this is all, my understanding is this is all archival, so you can use these on photos and all that kind of stuff, and try to preserve everything we have. So the next thing we did is we had our banner that we cut out earlier, and just putting a little bit of glue on this too. I'm not popping these up. I'm going to pop up some stuff later, but I'm pretty liberal with the tape because I want it to stick. And how I did this is I just kind of made the points, put it in the middle, eyeballed it, and then made the points down at the bottom of the background paper. Okay, that's how I did that. Oh, we forgot one step, didn't we? We had our little banner, didn't we? We have to do our little banner, don't we? And I had an example here that I had done already. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I had Sweet Wishes. The Sweet Wishes did not, I don't think it came from here. This one came from a different Crafter's Companion set. And no, it didn't. Sorry. It came from StampinUP's Celebration set. I believe this might be last year's. I can't remember. I always try to get Celebration. Yeah, it isn't this year's because I haven't gotten anything this year. So this had to be last year or the year before. But this is the Sweet Wishes, and that's where that one came from. But look, it's got kind of a cool thing too, and it's got sprinkles and all that, and it's a pretty cute stamp set. So this was literally just a white piece of cardstock stamped on there, cut out, and then I just kind of used my daubers and I distressed it on the ends. So that's pretty explanatory, I think. And I used the same colors that we were using for the back. I used the seal brown to do that. I stamped it in seal brown, and then I just kind of smeared it. I don't know what they call it. They call it distressing, but that kind of thing. So anyways, this will go on last. So with that, that one's still drying, but I had one here already ready to go. And I just took some of the Stampin' Up! Poppets, and I just put 3 on the back here. just to kind of pop it up a little bit. I'll get that ready. Make sure this is kind of in here. So hopefully, just take those things off. Got a little trash can here next to me. I'm gonna actually, one of the other classes that I'm gonna do that I got from Genevieve Designs, or I think that's right. And she has these cool little like trash things that she made that you can make like little trash bucket, if you will. I don't know. So you can, like, as you're doing these little things, just throw it in there. So, you know, you can just throw it away at the end of your project. And I'm going to make one of those. And I will do that on video so we can see how easy it was to follow her instructions. All right, so we did that. Now I'm just going to put my couple of dots for my label. I think they call that a modern label. I could be wrong, but I think it might be. And again, that's just Stampin' Up! As well. It's just one of their punches, but you can use any punch that you like. You can dress this up anymore. I mean, I was trying to think about maybe putting ribbon somewhere or doing, you know, something else. Maybe I should have gone back and made the little cherry and put the cherry there. That would have been kind of cool because they do have a cherry on here. So I just did that. And then I just wanted to jazz it up a little bit more. So I got my little handy dandy tool out here, a little pokey tool, and I had cut those to try to get that to lift up easily. And I just put a couple little jewels, and these are Stampin' Up! I don't know if they still have these. I couldn't see if they, I wouldn't see why they wouldn't. But any little jewels that you like, or you don't even have to use jewels. The other thing I thought would have been better, and I didn't think about this until after I had done this, and excuse my dog, is I think I would have liked to have embossed this, done this in a brown and then embossed it. I think that would have made it a little nicer. And I might go back with a pen and try to see if I can do one and emboss it and then go back and do the rest of them. So I'm always trying to jazz things up a little. So, apologize for the dog. And let me close the door. So, I'm always trying to jazz things up. Some people like things plainer. I like things to jazz. And actually, thank you to Lorraine and one of my friends who I stamp with. Her and Mimi and Marsha all took a look at this card and said it was nice. And they're all the ones that said, Tiffany, you need to put little jewels on here. It needs to be 3D. You need to do this. You need to do that. So the other thing I did, which I'm not going to do here on that card. So this card is done. Voila. And this is actually what it ended up doing, was just adding another little sentiment in the inside. I could have gone and done a little something in the bottom, maybe put a little something here if I wanted to. And then I always like people to know, hey, this was hand stamped. And so I have a hand stamped, and then I have like a little one that says who it's from. And I always like to put that on there so that they know that, hey, I took my time to do this for you. And hopefully they would enjoy that. That's it. I think I have showed you guys everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. And please provide me any comments. Please be, constructive and give me a little bit of a break. This is my first video, my first time doing this. Trying to get my little corner started. I enjoy doing projects, and I wanted to do more. So I thought, you know what? Let me just try to start a channel and let's see how far we can go with this. I'm not just about cards, so you won't just see cards on here. You will see probably a little bit of everything. I like mixed media stuff, so I love Tim Holtz stuff. I've been looking at jewelry, so craft fancy stuff. I've been learning a lot of stuff when I go to these expos. And this expo, if you've never been to an expo, you should just go out there and take a look. Even just come for the shopping. They will, even on the floor, they'll have card projects where you can do a project for free if you want. They have some that might cost $1 or $2. There's tons of people doing demonstrations that you can see, but there are classes that you can actually take. So when you go to this, you just need to take a basic kit. And what a basic kit is scissors, some type of adhesive, something to clean with, something to stamp with, like stamping blocks, a Misty, anything like that. Let's see what else. Scissors, adhesives, stamping blocks, stamping ink. So like a, you know, like at least one pad of ink, like a black, I would suggest. But a lot of times they have all that stuff. They have some of those things that's already done for you. But if you do decide, they'll tell you in the class what you need and beforehand. And if you sign up before, it's a little cheaper than if you were to sign up there, and you'd probably be guaranteed that you would actually have a class available for you. And then they typically will have, in the classes, they will do like a raffle. So they'll pull out something and you'll win something pretty cool. Or they'll have like a giveaway that they'll give you. So for example, Heartfelt Creations, they do with their stamping classes, they also give you a coupon for $19.95. So you can go get a stamp set that costs $19.95. And, you know, it's a hook. It's going to get you in. You know, if you like it, you're going to get hooked. But it is a pretty good deal, considering your class probably cost you about $30. So you get $20 back technically. And you learn a new technique and you learn how to use some stuff. So again, you're going to see a bunch of stuff. You can make jewelry, you can do all kinds of things. So I do encourage you guys to try to take a look at these, try to take a class or two if you can, but if not, just come shop and hang out. If you are a seasoned scrapbooker, but you don't really want to shop, they have crop days. So it's kind of going to one of our little, bed and breakfasts, do cropping all weekend long, but this is going to be at the Urban Convention Center this year. Much more cost effective than it was when it was being held over at the Gaylord, even though the Gaylord is beautiful. Love the Gaylord. Wouldn't mind going back to the Gaylord, but when you are wanting to spend your money on the classes and on product and things like that, it's nicer to be closer to Irving. You're going to have, it's more economical. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. This is Tiffany, and this is Tiffany's Crafty Corner. And please provide any feedback that you have. If there's something you guys want to do, let me know. I'll see if I have this stuff, because I pretty much try to get everything. I don't know why I do that, but I do. And I'll give it a shot. So I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.